Oh, you sound way different.
You do
Is that
sound
a
way different.
built-in mic now?
Yeah, I think you might have swapped over to your bad mic.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
No, no squeaky squeaky though.
Yeah, yeah. In true tradition, we're getting off to a start with tech problems, which includes a high-pitched tinnitus simulator for viewers, and one missing player who should be popping back in soon, hopefully.
I mean, if you were setting odds for starts with starts with tech issues,
Yeah,
it was like $1 favorite.
it really was. Yeah, yeah. I'm glad we've got people that have joined us for this big session 0 as well, which is so good to see. Shitehawk had a 10 stream streak, which is good. That is a lot of goblins and piss. Shitehawk, thank you for joining us. And we've got Jackalope, who I noticed was in the chat. I haven't seen Jackalope in the chat for a long time. So welcome back, Jackalope. I'm pretty certain John has brought you back in to the fold.
You're on mute, John.
Yeah, you're on mute. Sorry, bud.
You're still on mute, but you're saying good stuff.
Oh, no, she said...
Oh, I am on... Sorry.
She said she had no idea that John... Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, I did not communicate this at all.
Okay, yeah. Okay, cool. Cool. Lyndon Hood says hi. Hi, Lyndon. Thanks for joining us as well. Jackalope says hi, John. All right, Christian's back. Is your internet working now? Well, your audio's not. Okay, so I can't hear you now. So
if I take it off mute, maybe. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, yeah.
But it says I'm getting over 100, but I can't see anyone else other than you.
Oh.
Refresh the window, will appear.
We can wait. We can wait.
That's just the thing.
Use your theatre of the mind.
I see they're on the stream, though.
Yes, yeah. We've gone live. We thought we'd just wait. It's okay.
I might just refresh, maybe.
Yeah, I've got a big list of things that we're going to be talking about, by the way. So I grabbed that list off our Discord. We're going to go through all the typical Session 0 things, plus anything else that you guys want to bring up and chat about and understand before we go live in a couple of weeks. Are we there? Are you there?
I see everyone, but everyone else is on mute.
Yeah, everyone's gone quiet.
Honk, honk.
Yeah.
Hello.
Okay. How is everyone doing? This is to the players now.
Oh.
Yeah, technology, I love it. I'm getting that authentic getting Dicey experience.
Yeah. Yeah. How's everyone's audio? Can everyone hear everyone okay from the players? You're all seeing and hearing everyone okay now?
I can hear fine. I'm just worried about what people are hearing from my audio.
You know what?
Guys.
I think both Moj and Christian, you could probably dial down your gain a little bit. You are both a little louder than John and Reese, but I think in general we're sounding pretty good. It would just be like a tad, just a 10% drop. But thank you for coming, guys. This is the Session 0 for the big new campaign, Rime of the Frostmaiden, which I'm very excited to get started with. I've even themed the background with Rime of the Frostmaiden art, which I did 2 minutes before I turned my camera on. That's how prepared I am. I think there may be issues going forward with how quickly I can swap faces. I think because they made some changes with OBS, I might get some weird issues with that. So we'll see how that goes. Do we want to start off by talking about the characters, the new characters that we're going to be bringing in to the campaign? I'm having a look at the order on screen. John, you're at top left. Do you want to talk about your character?
Yeah, sure, I can do that. So this time I will be playing a dwarf named Yannick Ironfoot Stoll. So he's I don't know how much to get into, but I suppose I'll talk a bit about him. He is a cleric of Moradin, and he is an ex-sled racing champion. Now, just like do-gooder cleric going around helping people out. I won't get into why he's doing that because that would be cool to roleplay. But yeah, he's a He's a lawful good guy, dwarf cleric. The classic.
Yeah, no, we've just been talking in the Discord. I do love myself a classic. So that's John. You're going to start with inspiration, I think, just for going classic. No,
Love
it. Yeah. So you said he was an ex racer,
sled racing champion.
Yeah, cool. Do we want to talk about why he's no longer a sled racer, or is that going to come out later?
I thought it might come up because it's kind of also why he's called Ironfoot as well.
Right.
I thought that might come up in play.
Yeah. And his name's is it a soft J or is
it's
it
a soft yay?
Oh, it's a Yannick.
Yannick.
All right, and he's from the 10 towns, is that right?
He's from 10 towns, from the general area. I didn't actually pick a particular town, but he's from the general area. But he's sort of, because he's good with a sled, he spends his time going out, seeing if there's anybody who needs help, ferrying people from town to town, and just generally trying to keep people out of trouble.
I think it'll be good between now and the next the next session, I guess, as we figure out together which town you've come from, if it's one of the smaller towns or if it's one of the bigger towns, because there's 10 of them, and there's quite a bit of difference in between them all as well. There's very, very small ones, which might have like a few dozen people, and then there's like Bryn Shander, which is like over 1,000 people, so it's kind of like the larger of all the towns. So we'll have a chat in between now and when we go live. How about Reese? Reese, do you want to tell us about your character?
Hey everybody, this time around we'll be playing Tobias Hugin. He is a human paladin, but I've reskinned him to be a relic hunter, so everything in the book is the same as a paladin, but I'll just say relic hunter because he kind of is doing relic hunting. That's his kind of his occupation.
Okay, yeah.
And the source of his power, as opposed to deity inspired like prayer and stuff, he's got a sweet artifact, and that generates all his relic hunting abilities.
Yeah, cool.
He's a gentleman who tries to speak like a British gentleman, and I did some Googling as to how to do that in real life, and it's complex and involved. So I think he'll do that in the accent that I portray for him as well, that he actually just talks just like me. But he's going to try to talk like a British gentleman. So
what sort of stuff
did you... out of accent, then he'll do that.
What sort of stuff did you learn about talking like a gentleman?
There's like a name for it. Like, I'm going to have to quickly try and remember what it was. It's like RP.
Role play.
Yes. It's like, what's it called?
Isn't it like,
represent... exit RP.
It's like the British. It's like the Queen's
received
dialect.
Pronunciation. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And I did a bit of research into it, and there's very clever people that break down all the English vowel sounds and their semi-vowels and the combination of stuff. I'm like, I'm glad I already know English because it is hard. So.
Lyndon in the chat saying RP is not posh, so it's not a posh sounding one.
And I even got that wrong. So there we go.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm gonna mentally picture David Attenborough and maybe that soccer player from the UK, David somebody. Maybe a combination between them. And that dude from the movie Snatch, who is also a soccer player.
Yeah. Nice.
Vinnie Jones.
So not the pikey.
Him too. I'll picture all of them. And that's what I'm going to go with. Disastrous, that's accurate.
Shite Hawk in the chat said, inbred slurring if you're basing it on the royal family, which is what I think RP is. It's kind of the royal family's way of talking.
It's like, what mate? And stuff like that, right?
I think you're the one telling the story. Maybe? Yeah. A high-pitched Eton Cockney... Someone else is saying Bertie Wooster. I don't know these names, so I don't know if you guys know those names.
Yeah.
Okay. Vinnie Jones.
Yeah, like that guy from The Transporter, right?
No, that's not Vinnie Jones.
Liam Neeson.
No.
Leslie Nielsen.
Jason Statham.
Yeah. It's UK as
Ivan.
it sounds.
Name 3 more action heroes.
You would
Sylvester
have got
Stallone,
there.
Wesley Snipes. Wesley Snipes' brother.
Yeah.
The Rock.
Yeah.
Cool. Relic Hunter. That sounds cool. But Paladin, but Relic Hunter.
Yeah.
Okay.
All the rules apply for Paladin, but I'll just say Relic Hunter a lot.
Okay. Christian.
So I tonight, Michael, I will be a Goliath wizard. He is pretty sure he's a wizard. He has a spell book and he can do magic. He is absolutely a warlock, though.
Okay.
But he's not quite sure of the difference. He's coincidentally also got a poorly done British accent. He was very well bred ish, and yes, didn't really pay attention during studies, but is now being called north from all the way down in Waterdeep. He's getting called north for glory. So he's a little bit Don Quixote, a little bit Algernon from Importance of Being Earnest.
Cool.
And then with just a really awful accent.
Okay, it sounds like the whole thing will be bad British accents then. Something's happening with your microphone, by the way. It's like going really quiet and then really loud and then cutting back down, and so it's kind of going back and forth. So if you've got any kind of post-production stuff, you'll have
Nothing at all. This is raw, unfiltered audio straight out of my mic.
I'm
Stuff the police.
going to press F to doubt on that one. Something's taking over. Unfortunately, something's taking. Also, I just renamed your token to your character's name, Harkness. Is that correct?
Harkness, yes, that is his name.
All right,
Just one name.
Just one name. I think you've still got your character sheet in Roll20 that needs to be updated. I think. Oh no, you made a new one.
Updated? Yeah.
Oh, you just made a whole new
updated
one. I think it looks like you just made a whole new one.
I did.
Okay.
That's how I updated it.
Okay. Okay, cool. I'll have to delete the other one and get that all sorted out because I had it all set up as a party for that character, but we can figure that out. Cool. And Moj. There we go.
Hello.
Hi.
Just unmuting myself.
Yeah.
Hey. So yeah, I am playing a. How would you pronounce it? Harengon. Harengon.
No, you told me it was.
Rogue?
You told me it was Harengon.
Yeah, but I think that's American. You know, here, run like a hare.
I think we call them hares.
A hare.
Hare.
Harengon.
Hare.
Harengon. A bunny person. I'm a little bunny person.
Yeah.
Her name is Dandelion, Dark Forest. What's she up to? She's in. Was it Haragons are from Feywild? The Feywild, so they're like almost like little fairy critters. But yeah, at some point her parents were like, actually, you know what? Faerun's not so bad. So she was born in Faerun. So if anyone goes into the Feywild, she may not speak the language. Sorry.
Oh, okay, cool.
So think of like immigrant kid, like your parents moved in to this new country and you're just like, hi. I look different, but you know, hey. Anyway, so what has she done? She's not from the 10 towns.
Okay.
She's from a little bit further south. She usually running with her mum, who is a bandit queen. I decided. I thought that was pretty cool. So she's a bandit queen. But she is currently, I'm pretty sure she would have told the party this. She is currently just, out of town till things cool down because she might have tried to run a scam and it might have gone a bit south. So just gone up north, waiting for things to cool down, and then maybe she'll go back home again. Also, while she's up north, just having a quick look around to see if her dad's around. I I guess he popped out for
Smokes.
I don't know. Yeah, popped out for a flagon of milk and didn't come back. I think actually no, you know what? I take it back. He left town for basically the exact same reason that she left town, and her mum scolded her saying, "Oh my god, you're your father's daughter."
Mm.
And then there was a bit of a fight, and then the next morning the mum packed her a little lunch and a little pack and was like, "If you see your father, slap him across the face for me." And then they had a hug, and then she left.
Aw, that's cool. Did we mention what class Dandelion is?
Rogue?
Rogue. Okay,
Rogue?
Cool.
So she gonna be sneaky. I saw because the backgrounds are different in 2024 rules, right?
I think everything is a little different, which is a good reminder that we're using 2024 rules for this session, for this campaign.
Do we go into what the backgrounds are, or are we keeping them secret?
Well, I don't know. Do you guys want to share backgrounds, or is that something you want naturally to come up? I imagine, I guess this goes into my next question, which is, how do you guys know each other? What's the kind of dynamic that exists when we come together for session 1? I do have a note that we said that we've got a note here that says avoid the awkward tavern meeting scene. So we don't really want to have that whole moment of there's just a quiet tavern and everyone's sitting by themselves and they've all come to this tavern with their own reasons. And then I've got to try and find a reason to get you guys all to work together. It is way better if we can cut all of that, get straight into the action, and understand how it is that each of your characters might know each other, and how much of yourselves that you would have shared with them. So that might also help guide us in regards to whether or not we talk about our background, or if we're happy for it to become something in the future. So, has anyone got any thoughts? I know I told you guys to go off and talk about it in a little private channel in the Discord. Did you guys talk about it at all?
Bits and pieces.
Bits and pieces. Okay. Have you got? Is there an agreed upon thing, or should we talk about it now? Should we just sort of figure it out?
I think we can figure it out now. But the loose idea that we had was that the group have sort of all met each other at a port.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Probably the closest port, somewhere like Fireshare. If I think about the map, would there be a port there?
I'm having a look at the different.
It's sort of south of 10 Towns.
I'm trying to. Do I have a Faerun map in Roll20? I don't know if I do. I've got maps of all of the individual little towns of 10 Towns, so I don't know if let's see if I can find an actual Faerun map.
Yeah, I've got one I can pop in the chat here.
Oh, okay, cool. Wait, which chat?
Stream Discord.
Oh, I don't have Discord open. Could you chuck it in the chat in Video Ninja?
Yep.
Ah, perfect. Thank you.
Ninja has chat.
It's got everything. All right, let's bring that up.
It's detailed.
It is detailed. I've got it up.
Interactive too.
Oh, very cool.
Nice.
Get out of town.
Shout out to whoever made this.
Yeah.
It's pretty epic.
Right.
Wow.
So 10 Towns it's got kind of some ports on rivers, but it doesn't have an ocean port.
Okay.
So there are some towns that you could definitely make your way by boat to. Although at the time of the year that you guys are traveling up, it may not be overly easy. Let's just have a look at this.
Could we have met before this time of year?
No. So this is where I kind of need to give you guys a little bit of history about what your characters would know about what's happening up in the 10 Towns at this point. Now, it depends what Yanuk has been doing. He probably is the one who maybe is the one with all of this knowledge. It's been not only dark for the last 2 years, but it's also been an eternal winter for the last 2 years. It is a brutal winter that is just non-stop, and Yannick would know the cause of it. There's a bunch of different kind of beliefs across the different towns, but it is the thought that, like, basically the spirit of winter has used its magic to basically blanket this area in both darkness. The sun just doesn't rise here. You go further south, it rises just fine, but it does not rise here. And there's nothing but winter. So the best you ever get is dim light. So the whole campaign is either in dark or dim light, which means in dim light you only ever see black and white and limited details. If you've got dark vision, then you can see dim light as natural light, and you can see nighttime pure dark as dim light. But for the most of this whole campaign is going to be in dim light, except where lit by torches or magical reasons. So, knowing that, I think it does kind of make sense that maybe there's some sort of meeting outside of 10 towns, and you've brought them in. I feel that kind of maybe makes sense.
What if I had come across the three of you and you're sort of struggling to get to the nearest shelter? And what I do is I basically sled around looking for people who are lost or in trouble and try to pick them up and find them and help them out.
Yeah, that sounds legit.
Sounds good.
Like we're in some kind of sled or carriage or something, and then like, what if it breaks down or we fall into a ravine or something? And then it's 3 out-of-towners just huddling together under a pine tree.
Scene.
Yeah.
Roll credits.
Yeah, I like that. I like the idea that maybe you guys don't know each other before this journey north, but there's very few people on this boat anyway, right? Or whatever your main means of transport north is going to be. There's very few people going up, and you're hearing, like, from the person leading it, whether it's a captain of the boat or the captain of this caravan that you're on. Not sure which one it's going to be, but they're sort of explaining to you why. No, it's I don't even know why you're going up. As soon as I drop you off, I'm going to be heading back, and I'm probably not going to be back for months at this stage, if this sort of winter's ever going to end. So this is almost the last journey north that's open to people, other than just venturing yourself north. Do you think it makes sense that you've all jumped in a boat and you've braved? The idea being, like, let's go to 10 towns to do this thing, but or is it maybe like plans of going to Bryn Shander? Bryn Shander is the big kind of city up there.
I know for Dandelion, she's just basically getting the heck out of Dodge, and the further north she can go, the more confident she is that no one's going to follow her.
Right.
So she would have, like, if there was a boat going from, what was that place? Started with L. Like Luskin. So she would have jumped on that, possibly stowaway, possibly, pretending to be someone she isn't. And I don't know if, like, the other characters were on that boat. Maybe she met up with them. We had that joke about her trying to thief off with Harkness's bags, and he caught her, and then she just managed to convince him that she was a porter, and he was like, "Oh, great, I could do with a porter. Can I hire you?"
Excellent service.
It's like, yes, you can. Thank you, sir. And then then it turns out that, oh, actually, he's not such a bad guy. So yeah, I'll hang around.
How
If
much?
you should use silver for your troubles.
Oh, thank you very much. And she puts his like huge coin purse back into his bag, puts that bracelet back into the bag. It's like, here you go, sir.
Can you give me
Where shall I put this?
Have you got your character sheet up at all?
Oh, no, I don't. Sorry.
No, I wasn't expecting. I just thought it would be fun to give a sleight of hand.
Oh, true.
Just to see how well you disguised putting that bag back inside the bag. Well, there's no hurry. Whenever you get a chance to bring it up, that'd be a fun little roll. How much, while you bring it up, how much of Dandelion's background do you think she's shared with him?
I think she would have. I don't think she would have told him that her mother is a bandit.
Okay.
Possibly might have said that she works with road tolls and security.
Okay. So not really sharing background really then.
Well, he seems like a nice guy, and generally you don't tell people that you come from a criminal background.
Right. Okay. How about Harkness? Did he share much with Dandelion?
Oh yeah, he would have probably just been like barely letting you get a word in edgeways, talking about, have you been down to Waterdeep? And like, oh yes, I was trained just out of there, and then I'm heading north, and greatness awaits, and you can be part of this as well.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Oh, sounds great.
Okay.
Oops.
Sorry, I've been sort of looking around a bunch of different things while I've been listening to your chat, so I might have missed this. Harkness, what do you know? Have we talked about why Harkness is heading north?
Yeah, so Harkness has his magical grimoire, and he notices that periodically more pages have things written on them, and some of the pages started to talk to him about how greatness awaited him to the north. And he's like, well, that's excellent. I could certainly do with some extra greatness. So he's full of enthusiasm to find out what it is, and he just kept going north as the book tells him. You have great deeds, and you'll be spoken of in legend, and everything that you're desiring will be found in the north. So he's like, fantastic.
All right. Yeah, that's cool. What does he think about the fact that, like, probably everybody he's talked to about this is like, it's freezing up there. It's like, something's gone wrong up there, and there's like forever night. It's been night for like 2 years.
When he heard that, he turned a page, and lo and behold, there was a spell for light in the book. So the book is providing.
Okay.
That's one of the joys of being a wizard.
Yeah. Okay, nice. How did that stealth roll go? By the way, QSD, welcome in the chat. Also, I saw Too Friendly, aka Shannon. Thanks for joining us. And Timprovise in there as well. Thanks for joining us, everybody. How'd that stealth roll go? Have you given it a roll?
I got 15 for sleight of hand.
And what do you need to? What's your? I decide. Yeah, perception check. I'm so stuck in like Dragonbane, and I'm just like, what did you have to try and get? It's like every system for the last 2 years has not required like me to decide what the DC for succeeding is. Okay, cool. So we are gonna use Harkness's perception check, which he has already rolled as well, and that's a fail. So that is something that Harkness spotted, like while you're giving his bags back.
Enthusiasm and some
maybe he took
intuition.
Pity on a poor little bunny urchin. I mean, she's not a child, but
I saw you take initiative. You were going out there doing things for yourselves. Harkness knows he is but one wizard, and he's going to need to surround himself with some people to help him.
But I'm saying you spotted her putting like your.
100%.
Okay, cool. All right.
But he played it cool.
Yeah, gotcha.
I guess it's whether Dandelion realizes that he spotted her or not.
Yeah. Now, actually, something about Dandelion, like what sort of age is Dandelion? Is she a young Harengon, an older Harengon? Is there, what's the...
I don't know. I reckon 19, considering that she's still big on like her parents. Dad didn't leave. Well, he left a while ago, but not like long enough that she thinks he might be like dead or something.
Right. So it's like a human 19. Is that what
Yeah,
you're saying?
like a
Right,
human
right.
19, whatever the Harengon equivalent of
yeah.
that is.
Okay, cool.
I'm just going to call it 19. And so she's like brand new, but she's got some idea of stuff.
And Harkness, the Goliath, what sort of age group are we looking at for him? How does he present himself?
He would. He's about 30, 32 maybe.
Okay.
So he's a bit older. Just hasn't really done much with his life up to this point.
Cool. All right, let's move over to Tobias. Tobias, what is your main reason for heading north? The thing that would have you found on the same vessel, or let's just go with both. The same boat as Harkness and Dandelion.
Sure. Tobias is being quite clinical about it, and he's just starting at the top of the world and is going to work his way down. And when he hears about this endless night, that sounds like a relic for sure. And he's got to find them. He's got to understand them. He's got to catalog them. Got to bring them back to the reliquarium where he works.
Yeah.
And he figured this is going to be an easy mission. He's going to go out there, collect it, and there's helpful people along the way. Yeah. He's all about it.
Okay. I think that's cool. I think that's great. I think I'd say he may have heard a bit more about what's going up there, with that interest in specifically hunting relics. Maybe he's asked a few more questions. Every time he hears someone talk about what's happening up there, he's asked a little bit more about it. And you've heard that, and this is something that Yannick will know. I think I'll go with this being something that Yannick is 100% aware of, being from up there, is that most of the people in 10 towns blame something called Oral, the Frostmaiden.
O-R-A-L?
A-U-R-I-L. Oral. I think the book says to call it Oral, and I'm not doing it. I can't do this every new campaign, okay? I'm not going to have like Oral the Frost. Yeah.
I sense a running theme.
Straight after fucking Cover Mountains. I'm not doing it. And some of them believe her to be a god. Some of them are just like some kind of strange magical creature. There's not like a consensus. Except maybe Yannick has a better understanding, but I might talk to John about that separately, about what Yannick knows. So I think that's great. You're on this vessel and you see a Harengon, which you probably haven't seen many Harengons before, but there seems to already be some sort of relationship between her and this Goliath. And you know, there's a lot of Goliaths up north, and you're like, oh, this guy must be just heading back north. Is Tobias the kind of character that might? There's almost no one else on this ship. It's damn near empty again. There's people that have said not to do it, and you three are like the sole people on this venture north. Barely worth the captain's time, and he lets you know about that. He lets you know. So is Tobias the kind of person that might kick up a conversation with the others around?
I think it would be like in an elevator, right? The first few seconds, you're not going to say anything. But when you're in there for like 48 hours, you're like, hi. Oh, this elevator's stuck.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tobias will see that maybe perhaps the conversation between Dandelion and Harkness, and realize that they're heading in that same direction. And as it gets more north and more cold, he'll be like, yeah, allies would be very handy. He's pretty confident in his abilities, but he realizes he's just one person, and super wizard and super rogue person. Yeah, absolutely. And super bobsled champion. It's going to be so helpful up there. Yeah. Quite open to the chat.
Yeah. You wouldn't have met Yannick at this point, I think. There'll be an event that occurs, I think, that would mean Yannick finds you, maybe. By the way, you're all venturing with your winter gear. You've gone up knowing it's going to be cold. It's going to be incredibly cold. Maybe you don't know exactly how cold, but you've brought very thick winter gear. with you, and it's all packed away, ready to go. This is the kind of gear that like it's going to cover almost every part of your body. So when we talk about like costumes and voices and stuff, don't feel you need to do either. If you don't want to put on voices, that's fine. If you don't want to dress up or anything like that, that's also completely fine. I don't think I'm going to be able to stop most of you because you seem very keen on it, which is great. But do it because you want to do it, because realistically the characters are going to just be like bundled up in winter gear the whole time. So do it for yourself because it's something you want to do, if you want to do it. How much of Tobias's background would he share with Harkness and Dandelion?
Yeah, he'd share that he's looking for relics, and he'll declare the cover story. There's a few layers in there which might come out later on in the campaign and so on. But he'll mention that he's looking for any sort of magical relics that he can take it back to where he works, and any magical item he has quite a bit of interest to. So perhaps Harkness and himself could talk about his book if Harkness is up for that. He'd be interested in that. Yeah.
Can Dandelion roll to see if she can get a vibe off of him? What kind of magic person is he? Is he like a shady one? Is he all right sort of guy?
Yeah, but give us a insight check, insight roll. It's going to take me a while to get back to understanding like the different D&D roles.
Clicky token.
8.
You rolled under. Oh wait.
yeah. Reese, what would an 8 give Dandelion if she was kind of like trying to scope you out?
Okay.
He's a good-looking kind of guy.
I think maybe Dandelion might believe what he's saying, in the fact that, oh yeah, I'm a relic hunter, and it might sound as if he's been doing this for years, whereas the truth might be something different.
Yeah. Okay. What does Dandelion think of the idea of magical items that this person's hunting?
Ooh. I mean, it sounds really interesting. She's she's a young rabbit out in a place that she hasn't been before, and treasure hunting is both interesting and profitable. So whilst he's getting the big relics, maybe there might be little trinkets around that she can maybe pick up, make a bit of a profit on. I mean, they're going to be in like some vault or tomb, right? No one's going to be using it.
Okay. How about Harkness? What's his thinking about relic hunting in the far north?
Oh well, it's good that he's got a hobby. It's there's adventure abound up north. So
yeah,
once again, another soul who's willing to get out there and maybe go on the roads unwalked. Absolutely the person to put your lot in with.
Yeah, so that's something like is the book sort of telling Harkness anything about these new characters? Has he checked his book?
He checks his book every day, just to see if anything new's been written or anything's changed. And it's been quiet for the last few days. He's taking that to mean that he's on the right path and that he just needs to stay the course.
Okay, all right. All right. So we've got to think about like what happens next. I'm looking at the map, the Sword Coast map here. You've gone off from Luskin. I feel like it would probably be likely to land in it. Well, maybe not Ironmaster. Ironmaster looks like it might be an actual. Oh shoot! I just lost everything. Ugh. It's a good site, but it also is. Here we go. Where would that boat likely land? I think. I'm thinking Ironmaster, and it would be attempting to take the river inwards towards 10 Towns, when like even the waters heading into Ironmaster are like freezing over, and you've already hit like what it shouldn't be nighttime, but it is nighttime. It's kind of strange. This is like that weird effect that you'd been hearing about. It's probably only like at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's like dark. There's enough light for you to be able to see, but it's dim light. And you can't really see there's a lot of swearing coming from the captain. He's talking to himself, but he's like blaming you lot for even being here at this point. And how like just knowing that you're going to be paying once we land is going to make it worth this trip. But I think there's some kind of like sharing of the hull on ice. And it sort of comes aground, and there's like a moment of realization that this is not really maybe what you didn't think it was going to be this rough. And maybe word has gotten to Jannick about this boat that is like stuck in the ice river, and he heads down with a few of his friends or brethren to go down and help this group. But like traveling across this land is brutal at the best of times. There's he knows better than anybody that to travel quickly could mean that you disturb the wildlife, and that sometimes that wildlife you do not want to disturb. So it's a very stop and start thing. And you guys have like sheltered down the best you can. You've put your winter gear on, and you've kind of given up a little bit of hope. The captain has didn't bring enough gear, and he has it's only like 2 days of hunkering down that he has decided to like strip off his clothes and because he thinks he's fine, it's just too hot, and he takes off all his clothes and walks off into this blizzard, never to be seen again. And you guys know better than to like do that kind of thing here in the north. And it's like 2 or 3 days pass, but it's really hard to tell. Like sometimes it's like a little brighter, and other times it's just like pitch black. There's howls and sounds from all over from different things. But you find like this little cave. It's not even really a cave. It's just a small indent in rock that you've managed to get into away from some of that stuff. And then about 3 days later, 3 days in, you see like this lantern light and these voices of these guys who seem to be fine, like there's in high spirits, and I think that would be sort of led by Yanuk, or at least Yanuk would be inside this group. And that he makes sure that you're all doing well, make sure you're all fed because you've already gone through all of your rations, and then sort of says you're all right now. We've got things we can take you back. You'll be fine. He's impressed with the winter gear, that you were smart enough to bring that with you, and he takes you back to his town. And that kind of like, I think that gives us a really good, and enduring that time, because it's 3 days worth of trekking maybe, is there's back and forth between you all as well. So I think Jannick, being the host, the person who's bringing these unlucky folks back into 10 towns, maybe he might share something about himself to kind of make them feel at ease. To go venture into his backstory or a bit about him.
Yeah, I think that when everybody meets him, given when he's walking on the ice, they probably notice like he walks really awkwardly, especially if he's in snow, and it seems like he seems really, really heavy, like heavier than you might expect someone of his size and stature to be. And he's a wise fellow. And he sort of picks up on this and goes, "Oh, you noticed the leg, did you? Yeah, there's a reason why they call me Ironfoot." And I just sort of lift my leg up and just clang clang on this prosthetic I've made myself, and just share that this this harsh environment takes a lot of people, can also take parts of people. I was lucky enough to get away with my life the last time we ran across a remorhaz. I don't want anyone to have the same fate, and that's why we're out here trying to help and find people. We couldn't find your captain.
Cool. The remorhaz, that is a creature from up in the 10 Towns kind of area, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a giant centipede that breathes fire and lava.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tobias head south.
When you
Yeah.
say giant, do you mean like?
No, like enormous.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just going to bring up some information about them, so we can share. Because I think I like that. I like that.
Like a hippo, maybe 2 hippos long.
Dang.
It's like, do you have a hippo for scale? 2 hippos. Okay.
Pocket hippo, right?
Yeah, they don't use imperial elephants in Faerun. They use
Oh,
hippo
dang.
instruments.
They're the one place that doesn't, and it gets real awkward.
Metric hippos.
Yeah, like they prey on like elk and polar bears and things like that.
I'm glad we're not any of those.
Yeah. Well, you kind of look like it with these big winter gear on, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, not something we would want to tussle with at level 1, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Hence why I just barely got away.
Yeah, they burrow deep below the snow and ice and sort of like mask their heat that sort of dwells within them that way. And it's like vibrations above that cause them to like pop up. So you could be none the wiser. And Remoras could attack. And I think that kind of sets you all on edge a little bit. Like, I think Yannick's like, they could be anywhere kind of thing.
Got to do the desert walk.
Oh my gosh, yes, I was just about to say.
Walk without rhythm.
Yes, reading the Dune series is going to come in handy, finally.
It is basically just going to be frozen June, I think. That's it. Okay, I think that's really good for how the characters know each other, and I've still got plans. We're going to open it. I don't want to spoil too much, but I'm going to open the campaign a little bit further on from that. There's I think some boring stuff I just want to expedite. Just get through a little bit of this like boring scene setting and just chuck you straight into some of the fun parts, and then we can bring some of that story back in as we progress. So that's kind of a little hint of how we're going to start next week. But yes, John, you mentioned that we are all level 1. And we're all happy. We're all happy to start a new campaign off at level 1. I think one of the things we've got on the list of things to chat about is pace of play, which I think is a very valid thing for here at Getting Dicey, because we used to be stoked if we'd get one new room every session. So pace of play is going to be how do people want to play? Are we saying as long as we're enjoying it, it doesn't matter the pace, or are we saying look, it's best not to mess around and kind of keep it going?
When we find a new room, we level up.
There are only 3 rooms in this campaign.
When you said you skipped a bit, we're
in the leveling up phase. Yes.
Yeah.
The outside is 1 room though.
yeah.
Technically.
Yeah. Well, how do people like pace? Like you've all kind of played games with me DMing. Are there things that you would like sped up? Are there things you would like me to slow down on? Like, what do you like?
I think if everybody's having fun, that it's fine for us to like stay on a moment or whatever. It would be good to not start a session and end a session in basically the same position.
Yes. Yeah.
So that we feel like things are progressing from session to session.
I think I've gotten better at pushing things forward. And making sure that, there was some times in Curse of Strahd, there was a lot of umming and ahhing and big conversations over what really was kind of a smallish decision. And so I think making sure that we push forward quickly, and that's sometimes meaning I put external time pressures on you guys, like, if you don't come up with an idea soon, something's going to happen anyway. So just to help push that forward a bit more. But yeah, I think the biggest issue is going to be up in the 10 towns, there's a lot of distance between each of the towns. There's a lot of empty space. And I don't want to make it feel like nothing happens between those big empty areas, but I also don't want to just do something for the sake of doing it and therefore like slowing it down. So there might be a little bit of Star Wars vertical wipe as we transition to a new area and we're just at the new area. I think it'll just depend on where you're going, where you've been, and kind of getting a feel for it. So maybe hit or miss at first, but I think we'll find a good pace. I think there was a lot of travel in Curse of Strahd, and for the most part, that was kind of quick and easy. It was just kind of like, I'd ask you, each of the players, what's your focus during this travel, that kind of thing. So it might be a little bit like that again, just to understand what it is you guys are going to be doing, so I can help paint a bigger picture.
Yep, cool.
Any thoughts from you guys on that?
Sounds good.
Yeah, GMs have a wonderful ability of hand wavium rather than hand wavy yum. Got to get the pronunciation.
Yeah,
and I think it's good to incorporate some of that.
yeah. I don't want to be because I think the book really does lay out things like, this town is this far away, and for every X kilometers you should be doing this, and then this, and then I'm like, I feel like you could do one session based on getting from A to B, but it would just be that long because the book told me to make it that long, and not because it was doing anything important or any kind of good storytelling. So I need to make sure that I sort of adjust things.
Does it seem interesting to you, some of those things, or are they just a bit like, or they like random encounters, like in an RPG where you're walking through the world and you hit 3 random encounters before you reach the next?
There is a little bit of that. There is definitely a little bit of that, kind of just roll from the random table and make that thing happen. And I'm not a big fan of that. I like, if you're going somewhere, that maybe there's a random encounter that is giving you a hint of what you can expect when you get there, versus just a random roll. So I think that would be a better thing to do. I think the one thing I think Dragonbane did really well with what we played was there were locations on the way to locations. So it didn't feel like a random encounter. There was a legitimate location with things you could do, but you could also completely bypass it, and that would be okay as well. And I feel like it would be nice to find something along those lines here as well. So we'll figure that out. I think there's going to be a few bits and pieces that I pick up from Dragonbane and put into this, which is one of the questions you asked, John, was like house rules. Are there house rules that you guys enjoy that you'd like us to bring into this? Because I'm open, as long as it's not game breaking. If it just helps emphasize the fun, then I'm all good. I think John mentioned flanking is one of them. I love the flanking rules, getting advantage if you're flanking a character. NPCs can do that to you as well. I think cleaving was another one, which is like, if you damage a creature, any excess damage can be moved over to the creature next to it. I quite like that one.
Ooh, that is nice.
How about you guys? Are there any sort of house rules that you've enjoyed?
Are potions as bonus action the actual rule now? I forget in 20.
I need to check that out. Actually, I don't have.
I like that one.
I think it is officially the rule in 2024, 2025, whatever the new one is.
Yeah, I will check, because I think that's in the player's guide, which I don't have.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I can check it.
Yeah, that'd be great. There will be some rules checking since we're doing 2024, so hopefully it won't be too much of it. I'll be going over in the week leading up to going live just any of the big changes that I need to be aware of on my side. But I think the majority of changes are really player centric. It's very much the spells, the abilities, things like that. That's your main changes, and like classes and races and all that kind of stuff. Which is a good segue quickly is to making sure that you know your stuff. There's no way I'm going to know every cleric, rogue, paladin, wizard, warlock spell and ability, so please know your own. And it's a trust system. I will trust that you're telling me the right information. When possible, click the little button that shows the text and just read it through. If it's the first time you're doing a spell, do that, read it through so we can all understand it together, as well as any viewers as well. Sorry, John, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say, just back on the house rules thing, the crit miss system.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if I suppose it probably doesn't apply to Dragonbane, but I always found that really fun. So if you roll a 1, or if an opponent rolls a 1, they then roll a percentile dice and then find out how bad the failure is.
Yeah, which is quite cool. I think there's a lot about Dragonbane's critical success and critical miss that I really enjoy. One of the things that I really enjoy that I wanted to get people's thoughts on this one is if you critical success an ability check, in Dragonbane, you can pocket an instant success for the next time you want to do that ability. So you don't even have to roll. You got a crit success last time, so you can just instantly succeed in that the next time, which I think is really, I really like that. It's not breaking the game. It's rewarding the players for like a good roll. Obviously with attacks, it's still the same. You just double your dice.
But when you say double your dice, do you mean roll twice as many, or take the number and then double it?
I think the D&D 2024 is just double what you've rolled, but again, I'll check that. I think they've...
Like, I'm not fussy, just...
Yeah. I think in the old system, it was roll double the dice. I think the new system is double what you roll. I'll check. I will double check that. Yeah. So what do people think about
that? It's nice and easy if you roll it and double it.
There might even be like a crit toggle on the sheets in Roll20.
Oh, cool.
Convenient.
Trying to have a look. No, maybe not. Did I dream that?
It is definitely going to take a while for me to get back in like D&D headspace. I've been away from it for a very long time. What are people's thoughts on pocketing an instant success?
I think that's pretty cool. It is, what's the word? It's just in that particular skill that you succeeded in. So if I succeeded in religion, my next religion check is free.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, I thought that was quite a good one. It would be people be happy to...
incentivizes skills too, because quite often you're like, oh, I'm not gonna max out my skills because it comes at a cost of doing something else. That's quite cool.
Is everyone keen for that, Moj?
Yeah. Yes, I am. But I also wanted like a little more clarification. The like inspiration.
Here's another one. Here's another one I'd like to...
Is it instant success or is it a reroll?
So inspiration usually gives you just advantage on your roll. So you're like, I want to use my inspiration, you just get advantage, right? Okay. So what I was going to propose some changes to inspiration. What I've found every single time I play D&D is that no one uses inspiration. It just stays there as I'll pocket this for when I want to, for something super important. And then it just sits there like a health potion in Final Fantasy or whatever. It just never gets used. So what I'm suggesting as a change is if you roll and you fail, you can use your inspiration to roll again. Instead of it being an advantage before you roll, you can roll, fail, and then say, I'd like to use my advantage and roll again. Kind of like Dragonbane with pushing, but there's no downside. There's no downside to it.
Okay.
Sounds great. One thing I just will cash in. Since Tobias is a human, he gets inspiration daily.
Okay.
Once per day, but during the course of a day, that's that. So there will be more inspo.
Like once per long rest.
Yeah.
Okay. Because a day...
That's just a human thing.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That is crazy.
There has to be some incentive.
I figured I'd mention that now in case you dialed it up to be too good,
You should have just like, and what about if it also did this?
Yeah.
Can I just keep all my inspiration in a little pile on my table?
Heroic inspiration, is it? What? is specifically heroic inspiration? Is that just the new name for it?
Yep. Mhm.
Okay. Okay, cool. That's fine, because the other thing I wanted to talk about was like the other thing that can be really unfun, I think, is being the person who has to decide who gets inspiration. So like the rules are, if someone does something inspiring, give them inspiration. But I'm like, what if you've got a player that just likes rolling and attacking and opening doors and doesn't really do anything that might be considered inspirational? Do they just never get inspiration? So I wanted to say, like, what do we do about maybe at the end of every session, we say who hasn't used inspiration this session, who doesn't have inspiration, and then we take a vote on who gets it for the day. So every session, someone will end up with inspiration who didn't have it before. Now, obviously, getting it once every long rest is great, but we will have sessions, or we might have days that are 3 or 4 sessions long. So just because you get it once a day doesn't specifically mean it will come in super handy. It will come in handy, but it won't be like a once, or there might be like 3 days go in like 40 minutes, and then you've kind of done nothing with those inspiration points. So I don't think it's going to break anything for Tobias having that skill. I don't think no one else has a problem with that. I don't think.
No, Tobias is on our team. Take all the you can.
Yeah. I will just make note of turning all of the NPCs into humans.
One thing to consider too, if we try that approach and there's too much inspiration flying around, you could make it so that if an NPC was inspired by someone's actions. So, for example, if I'm just rolling and killing and whatever, the NPC might be like, "Did you see that kill? Oh, damn, that guy inspired me." And then you can gift it to whoever.
Give it to the enemies. I gotcha. Yeah. Super inspired by that cool move that Relic Hunter just did. And he's like, "Oh, I could do that." Yeah, I like it. I don't think, I think with this system, it's not about like breaking anything. It's about just getting you guys to use stuff that you would have anyway. So I like you're encouraged as a DM to give inspiration whenever someone does anything inspiring. They suggest like once a session is when you should be giving out inspiration. So and you should be using it as you get it. So if being able to just second attempt to roll for free helps, then that's great. I know that there are some, I don't think any of you guys have it, but there's like the lucky feat, which is like if you roll a 1, you roll again kind of thing. Like you can't roll a 1. Have you got the lucky feat? Okay, cool. Okay.
I'm a rabbit. I've got lucky feet all over the place.
So that's one of the Harengon's things as well. They cannot roll.
Yeah, I'm not just punning. It's Harengon kind of is an entire pun, but I've got lucky feet.
Okay, cool. So I don't think that breaks. I don't think it breaks anything. I think it's just going to be more fun, right? And if you guys do too well, I just like bring in something that kills you all. That's totally fine.
Is that called TPK?
Yeah. QSD in the chat said crits should do. There's a house rule that they use, which is crits do max damage. That could break. That could not break stuff. That would obviously be very satisfying, but that could also turn a very interesting fight into nothing so fast.
Yeah, but if you did like the double crit and then you max, that's kind of worse, isn't it?
What do you guys think of that? You just get max damage. Obviously, I don't want to just give you guys all power, all everything, right?
I like rolling dice.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
And I like doubling what we've rolled.
Doubling what you've rolled. Well, I'll find out what the rule is for that one and see if we're happy with that one. Doubling what you've rolled is much easier, but we'll see. We'll see what the rules are. Anything else in regards to like table rules? Anything that
you segued really well. TPKing and breaking and Trun and all that kind of thing, and Dragonbane rules.
Mm-hmm.
what are we looking at with downstate?
That is a really good question, because out of all of the systems I've played since I last played D&D, I think D&D has the weakest downed state. I always pictured D&D's like dying state to be, and I always played it this way through all of our sessions, is it's like you're basically unconscious on the ground dying. But in like Alien RPG, you're dying, but you're conscious. You can crawl. You can't speak, but you can moan. I like in Dragonbane, you can roll to try and rally yourself back to your feet and keep fighting. But you still roll death saves throws while you're doing that as well. But it just enables you to get to your feet in this moment of triumph as you're dying kind of thing. And you're not even guaranteed to do that either, because you might not roll the right number. So obviously the way you roll in Dragonbane is a little different to how we roll here in D&D. So your own personal stat would dictate what you need to roll to stand up or not. So I don't know, what do people like from what they've played? Because I want to do something that works for everyone as well. I don't want just the main reason I don't like the D&D one, it's probably the best thing to say why I don't like it compared to others, is because you could have 5 monsters, 4 heroes, each doing their own turn, 9 turns, finally comes around to that one hero that's at a dying state, they roll a dice, next person's turn, and then they have to wait for the full round to come around to them again, just so they roll again. It's boring. It doesn't really include them in what's going on. It just pushes them off to the side like a bit of a dead weight. That's why I always thought of it as them really being just unconscious, because they can't do anything. I'm happy if people want to be able to like bring in crawl speed, so half your movement you can like crawl your broken dying body away from danger, like half your movement speed. I think that's interesting.
Feels quite cinematic to me,
Yeah.
Like, they're not throwing fireballs and chopping and whatever, but hang in there everyone, blah blah blah. There's some quite good role play moments, I think.
Yeah. I'm not saying we have to copy Dragonbane or Alien or any other system, but what would we, because I think cinematic is the other thing. There's nothing more boring, nothing more uncinematic than just unconscious guy rolled a good roll, let's move on. Like it's so boring.
I'm sorry.
No, please take over.
I was going to say that it might surprise people to find out that I quite enjoy the Dragonbane rules in general.
Yeah.
And I like that the downstate, it doesn't remove player agency. You can still do your role playing, and then there is still the option that you can do slightly more, and that heroic stand where you're still dying, but you can try and get that last hit in. I just think is cool. Even games like Nimble 2, which is based off 5e, when you go down in that, you still have the options to do things, and you could attack, but you start taking physical damage, so it starts cutting into your death saves, that one last heroic stand. So I'm not saying either of those, straight up, but just something that it's not, as you say, roll a dice. Okay, I passed or failed. Next person. Like I'm not playing at all. I'm just.
Yeah. Moj, any thoughts?
Oh yeah, I was just backing it up like what Reese said. I like the imagery, the cinematic idea of like, someone's so badly injured that they're not in the fight, but they can like get themselves back up. And if it could be like Captain America, where they get up and they're like, I could do this all day, and they carry on fighting, and then they're successful and they can get back into the battle. Or you can have a big old Boromir and you're fighting, you got up and you're still fighting, and then right at the end you're like, and that's it. So it's like, whoo.
Yeah.
Those are very cool scenes to play out.
Yeah, because obviously you don't want to take damage. If you get to your feet in a dying state and you take damage, that's no good. What are your thoughts after hearing some of that, John?
I don't really have experience with any of those other systems, but I'm open to.
Did any of that sound fun?
Yeah, I like the being able to try something, but there's as long as there's a level of risk inherent in it.
Yeah.
Like, I think the thing that always, when I was DMing, the thing that always bugged me about the dying state in D&D was I felt like I had to sort of cheat the villains to not attack the downed character. I'm like, if I attack them, then they're just gonna die. Like,
Yeah.
I've got 2 attacks and they've got, and they're down, I automatically crit. That's gonna be game.
That's right, yeah, because like you attack in a prone state, if it's a hit, it's a crit. Well, there's one where it's like an instant hit anyway. Or is it?
Yeah, I think unconscious is like free crit, basically.
Yeah. And that's
and a crit equals 2 death saves.
Yeah.
So I was like, I would always be like, oh, I'm making it seem like the downed character is not a threat, so I'm going after the other threats. But like you would just coup de grace that one person and then move on.
Well, I think that's a really good. Maybe we should touch on like expectations, because I want you guys to not feel like I'm gonna just go easy on you. I don't think I've ever killed a player character. I'm not saying I want to change that, but it would be fun. You know what I mean? I don't want you guys to think that your characters are just going to be completely safe. And for the first time, I am completely open to you guys stumbling upon a new member of the squad because your last one died. I'm okay with that. So, knowing that, I think it'd be fair to set the expectations that if you're with an intelligent creature like a human who understands a down, if I can not just see that down character but kill that down character, that means you guys have one less on the opposing team. Actually, Drop Shadow did remind me in the chat that I killed American and then he called me a pig. I did, but I had plans and brought her back. That was very cinematic though. That was good. And it did hurt me a lot to actually even make that decision. I think we did it right at the end of a session as well. And like I had to convince Joe to join us for the next session because she was like, "There's no point. My character's dead. I'm just going to sit there and watch you guys play." And I'm just like, "Please just join, please." Because you can't create a new character in the second to last episode of a 100 episode campaign. So, except for this one, I will make you do it in this one. Characters can die.
It's
so
fun
expect
when you can die.
I don't want you guys to think Reagan's being nice this whole time. No one's going to die. I've done too many sessions now without anyone dying, so I'm ready for someone to die. Have another idea for a character if you want. Have something else that you really wanted to play sort of in the background, just in case. Yeah.
But not a tabaxi.
Tabaxi's not. They couldn't withstand the 10 towns winter.
Yeah, you need a
Snow
pet
leopard.
animal like a centaur or something.
Yeah, centaur.
Snow leopard.
Son of a gun. There's no centaurs and there's no tabaxi. Those are my only no's.
Oh my gosh.
You know what?
That's like half a
Centaur's worse than tabaxi. That's, sorry. Centaur's way worse.
Imagine the movement speed though. What, 65 feet maybe?
Yeah.
And then they could go up on hind legs and get like 75 feet.
Or they do on all 6, like the hands and feet.
Yeah.
What's that crow person? Surely isn't that the worst one?
Kenku? Kenku's pretty
Isn't it
cool.
Apparently he's fine with those. He's just not.
You're fine with Kenku.
I like the Aarakocra, I like the Kenku, I like the bird creatures. Those are kind of cool.
Doesn't like
Kenku can't talk though, right?
Oh, is it?
I think in Bumblebee.
I think they can only repeat.
Yeah, they can only
has been
repeat.
said.
That's right. That's right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whoa, that would be fun to play.
All of us
What
changed to King King.
Kenku game.
Just silent the whole time.
QSD says plot armor makes stories boring. There needs to be genuine fear of death. I agree.
Yes.
I definitely agree. Which I think the Goblin sort of session that we did last was good because they were all expendable, and so I thought that was quite fun as well. What else?
I like to tell
Shadow
people
Dark.
when we're talking. Oh, sorry.
No, carry on.
Just talk straight over you. When I'm talking about like trying to be too safe in a game, I like to tell people about a game we had at Christian's birthday, and there was a player who had never played before and actually kind of didn't want to play. So they were just going out of their way to try and kill their character. But it made the game so amazing because, you're like, oh, we're going to sneak into this thing. And he's like, I combat roll into the cave, draw my swords and attack the first thing I see. And it's like, holy crap, I roll the initiative. And it was like a really good game. It was very exciting. He didn't manage to kill himself, but he did a lot of like hero scenes and was like, ooh, man, it was fun. So high risk, high gains, I reckon.
How do you guys feel about a random person just sort of going in and potentially ruining plans?
I wouldn't play it like that, but this was a one shot, so I was like,
sure,
oh my
okay,
gosh,
cool.
Everybody in.
It's a good question though. Like, I think we saw during the Goblin campaign where Squished went to throw the torch at this giant spider that would just destroy you guys easily. How I basically was just like stopped the game, like paused time and just checked with the players, is this something that is... So is that the kind if someone does something that I think might cause an issue or might be a little extreme, do you guys want me to pause time and check in with the group? Or do you want whatever someone says to happen will happen? What do people want?
I mean, I'm happy to put faith in the other players on this. Like, I've played with some of you before and like seen some of you playing before. I think no one is going to go, it's what my character would do, and then just try and derail everything. if it's what their character would do, it's for a point, not to derail, but maybe to just change the situation.
Okay.
To bring something novel.
Yeah. Any other thoughts? Reese, I saw you unmute yourself.
Yeah, I think situations that are pivotal, it's not the person that can rap the quickest that gets all their actions off before other people can unmute, right?
Yeah.
So if I'm like, we've been adventuring for 2 years in real life, and I'm like, I killed a favorite NPC and I killed a bad boss, and we did. And everyone else is like, oh, well, I guess he unmuted first, and that's the end of that.
Sure.
I think it's a little bit reasonable to figure that out.
Yeah.
But, like Ken said, I can't imagine us doing the long con to do a campaign spoil right at the end. So
yeah,
I think we should be okay.
That it can happen at any time, and I've seen it happen where everyone's like, let's do something super stealthy. Everyone's being super stealthy, and then one character sees something and they're just like, oh shit, my character would fucking love that. And they jump in to do this thing, and everyone's like, that ruined the stealth. Like, I've seen it, and it does make people upset, especially if it happens often. So I just need to make sure that I'll do my best to check in if I feel things need to be checked in. I won't just hear the first thing and play it out without making sure, without giving everyone the time to sort of voice what they think. But that segues well into conflict resolution. I think is a very important part of D&D. Is if I do anything you guys aren't happy with, or if you guys do something that each other is not happy with, I want to make sure that we are comfortable, that we're not so precious about our characters, that we're not so precious about this campaign that we can't take a little bit of criticism, constructive criticism, and that also we won't give that constructive criticism in like an offensive, attacky way. Someone's annoying you, be open and honest. If you need me to sort of sit in between for any reason, I don't see any of this happening, right? But maybe just between Christian and Moj, maybe. I don't know, those sibling rivalries. But no, so I just want to make sure that we have a good time, and if anything bad, because things can happen, little things can happen, and if you don't talk or figure them out at the time, the next small things become a little bigger, and then it grows and grows, and then you want out, and that sucks. So I don't want that to happen. I really like the group that we have. It'd be great to keep you guys through to the end of the campaign. And I'm still trying so desperately to get Jo involved. She's sitting upstairs at the moment saying she's got massive FOMO at the moment. She really, really wanted to join us, but unfortunately long COVID is still kicking her ass a little too hard. But the moment that she starts feeling good enough to join us, she will join us. So at some point, hopefully, we will find her character in the middle of a blizzard somewhere in 10 Towns. I think that'd be amazing. Everyone feel okay with that whole conflict resolution stuff?
Yeah, cool. Thank you.
Cool.
I just remembered like previously with the doing something crazy and then people getting mad at you. It's like, oh wait, I shot a giant in the face. I probably shouldn't be saying anything about this right now.
No, I think that was a good example of like it was something you wanted to do that you gave a very good reason for wanting to do, and everyone had the chance to say no, and they didn't say no. So I think that's fine, you know. And then we all lived with that and almost TPK'd. It was great. Tone's probably a good one. What sort of tone do we want? I guess, John, your experience with me would be Lost Mine versus Curse of Strahd. I think the tone was very different between those two, right? I think, Mode, you've only really experienced the Lost Mine of Phandelver kind of tone, which is what I brought to Dragonbane, which is, yep, serious stuff is happening, but it's all done with like a sort of a Saturday morning cartoon veneer, you know? Nothing's going to make you go to bed after a session really kind of feeling emotionally drained or anything like that.
Yeah, I'm mostly used to having D&D be like chaos goblin puns aplenty. What would be so funny right now? That's what I'm going to be doing.
Cool.
But yeah, if that's not the tone that we're taking in this this game, then I'll just, you know, get up to the challenge. It's like, let's go, let's make this super serious. I think, yeah, like the most serious game we had was Aliens.
Yeah,
I think that was mostly I was just terrified. So
yeah, and like a 2 years of that tone.
Oh, that would be like,
yeah,
take up smoking, go outside, come back into the second half of the game.
Yeah. How about you, Reese? You've seen a pretty wide variety of tones as well.
Yeah, I like the Lost Mine vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we'll probably find bad guys in 10 Towns somewhere. So as long as we can sleep afterwards, that's preferable.
Yeah. I guess a good, like, John, you experienced this. Curse of Strahd was a book, like, basically the book tells you to punish the players. It's all about, no good deed goes unpunished in Curse of Strahd. So any kind of moving forward felt like you were being beaten down by this sometimes quite literally. You'd think you've done something well and the game would just punish you. It was very, if we weren't making jokes along the way, I think everyone would have quit because it just felt so brutal. Now, Rime and the Frostmaiden, I could see people playing it that way. And I just want to make sure that I would rather not play it that way. I would rather go with something a bit more light and fun, giving the serious moments like the seriousness they deserve, but not being brutally punishing every single session, if that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, if we had like we have nice, like, easy light parts, but then it's like high drama, we've got this really serious part to play, and then, you know, then we take a break, maybe with a resting episode or a lighter something.
Yeah,
it'll be fine.
Yeah, beach episode is what you want. You want the typical anime beach episode.
Yeah, we'll have the summer ghost story episode.
Yeah.
The makeover
ramen episode.
Yeah.
The ramen episode. Yep, the cooking episode.
Yeah, perfect. John, what are your thoughts between like that Curse of Strahd and Lost Mine kind of feel?
Yeah, I think you sort of nailed it with that. You can only survive that really brutal, like each turn like every time you achieve something worse ends up happening, and then you have to go and beat that thing. You can only really survive that if you have a sense of levity about the situation as players and working together and talking to each other. And in those moments in between things, I'm keen to have something that's a bit less like. I mean, this will be dreary, but hopefully not in like a draining sort of way.
Yeah. I mean, the environment itself is brutal and dark, and I think I would hate for the game to feel as oppressive as the environment, I think, as well. Like there will be hard moments, I think. There's still going to be hard moments. It's just finding that balance that doesn't make everyone want to just cry before they jump in bed, you know? Yeah. What else is on my list here? Oh, we've got this was from Reese, which is players are goodies, not evil. Is there a feeling of wanting to be heroes in this? So I know some people are quite happy to play a little bit of that. Both sides sit in the middle of morality and be sort of murder hobos, burn places down, and just whatever happens. You've got other teams that want to do adventure tourism instead of become heroes. And it's where are we on our scale of venturing into this horrible, oppressive, forever night, forever winter land? Are we going in to be the heroes that save it, or try and go in just to help people, or are we going to set up taverns and franchise them out and sell fur seals and seal furs? Like, what do you guys want as players?
Yeah, Reese.
You go first.
Reese.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So what I envision us not doing is like slaughtering the baby seal population and making hats out of them and profiting. So
yeah,
the opposite of that, I guess, is what I would picture. So we're there to save the day, to be heroes and live the dream and so on. You know, is there going to be some baddies that get decapitated? Absolutely. But we are there for the right reasons, I guess. And I think there's been some games in the past where we may not need it here, but just to clarify, it's session 0 after all. That is kind of like morality points, if you will. So if my character one day is like, oh, let's go back and burn that orphanage down with everyone in it. If I say that in game as part of the thing, that isn't in line with being a hero there for the right reasons to try and save 10 towns, etc. And I guess that can be discussed accordingly.
Yeah, so we did this thing. We only sort of did it a bit briefly, which was the idea of morality points. Is if you do something that's actually evil, you lose a morality point. And everyone starts with a set amount. If you get down to 0, your character becomes an NPC that I control. Simple as that. They're no longer heroes. Yeah. So it's whether or not we want to sit that with like in the back pocket in case we need it. But I would hate to be like 20 sessions in and be like, hey, you just lost a morality point for that. What the hell? You know? So it'd be, dependent. And you'd have to really do something very heroic to get that point back. So is that something we want? Do we think we'd need a system like that?
I like to think we won't need it. I appreciate that the One Ring, because I talk about freely, games does have a system like that in it.
Okay.
Which does add to a thing, because sometimes you do something and it's like, actually that was questionable, and then you lose the point and you start thinking about that in character of like, oh god, what have I done? And so it's not used as a punishment so much as just a please reassess moment.
Yeah.
But at the same, like, I'm not that good a role player to play a really evil character. I can't do it even in like Fable. I'm like, actually, I'm going to donate all my gold.
Yeah.
So morally good.
Yeah. Okay, cool. John, I think I saw you unmute for a little bit. Did you have something to say about that as well?
Tell me what I was going to say now. Yeah, I think Yannick is, his home is the 10 Towns. He's a lawful good cleric. He's there to try to help people out.
Cool.
And yeah, that doesn't mean that he can't turn a blind eye if somebody's like pickpocketing somebody to help out the party, but he will definitely, like, he's not going to be a real wet blanket about things. But he's a goodie.
Okay. It sounds like I won't need it, but I might just set the expectations that it will be there in the background. It won't be a surprise thing. Like, it won't just be like, oh, by the way, you've hit 0, goodbye. Like, it would never be like that. It would be kind of like a discussion after a session to be like, hey, your character's lost a point for this thing. Just so you know, it wouldn't be any judgment, 0 judgment. It would just be a rule that we follow. That makes sense. So it's not me trying to make any sort of judgment. It might feel like it if you think like, oh, I didn't think slaughtering that child in front of his mother was that evil. And I'll be like, okay, well, it is. So you lost a point, and that's fine. Are there any expectations you guys have on me, from me, in how we do all this? You might not have any, which is fine. But I just want to, it's like, I think my biggest expectation after having sort of DM'd a lot now from you guys, and I think it's a pretty minor one, is remember that this is much of a game for me as it is for you guys. Like, I'm also kind of like the rules and story guy, but it's a game for me too. Something I do for fun. So don't forget that if I'm saying yes to a lot of stuff you're doing, jump in with yeses for things that I'm saying as well. Just be part of that growth of that story. That's my main expectation, I think.
Ah, that's cool. I enjoy your DMing style. It's very fun.
Cool. Anything?
Looking forward to the mouth cutouts.
Well, I'm trying. I really hope that I can get this working. OBS made some changes. I've got 2 versions of OBS running, and it just something went wrong before we went live today that made me go, oh, maybe I can't do the faces. We'll see. We'll see. I really want to though, because that's I love doing that stuff. I really, really love doing that.
We'll have to start making masks.
little hold up ones. Like, dude, I would love to do that. I would also love to somehow have like fully like puppeteered faces. Well, no, just still like an overlay, but when I move my mouth, their mouth moves instead of it being a cutout, and like blink.
Like the lawyer with the cat face on the.
yeah, that would be fun, but I just don't know if there's a system that lets me like throw 40 NPCs onto a nice, quick, easy thing to change. So mouth cutouts it is. They will be back. There wasn't that many of them in Dragonbane, but there will be plenty for Rime of the Frostmaiden. Are there any topics or things that we want to avoid in our sessions? Obviously, there's the unspoken ones that we all know that we will not include. Anything that is just gross. Well, we always talk about, like, come a mountain. That's gross, but we can talk about that kind of thing. Rude stuff's okay, but we all know what we don't like. I don't think we need to spell that out, right?
Don't get banned from Twitch.
We don't want to get banned from Twitch. We don't want to be seen by communities in a negative light, I don't think. Right? People can disagree with liking like childish humor. That's fine. I don't care about that. But there are topics that everyone knows are no-goes, and we will be avoiding those. But is there anything else that you guys would like to avoid? That might not be as obvious. Maybe you've got a fear of winter spirits that give forever winter. Maybe we won't be avoiding that, unfortunately.
Maybe not talking about the plot.
Okay. Huh?
No, I'm just being stupid.
So just avoid.
A campaign with no plot would be difficult, right?
Yeah, I wasn't sure, because sometimes I do get excited, and I sometimes feel like maybe I spoil stuff sometimes. I know, I don't know if Shannon's still watching, but I know sometimes I'll get like, oh, I want to talk about this thing, and Shannon will just be like, just don't talk about it, because you'll break that immersion that we have if you do. So I sometimes I get very excited about because like I said, because it is a game for me as well, but I'm a player that doesn't get to share my excitement with the other players. So I try my best, but I will do my best to avoid spoilers.
let's book in a post campaign session where we can go through all of that. Book it in
Yeah.
now, right?
Yeah. Making sure you guys know your abilities and your spells. Again, don't feel too pressured about that as long as that when you go to use it, you know what you're using. You don't have to have a full catalogue, but when you're preparing your moves, have a look over. Make sure you know what you've got. Romance. So romance is something that we've done briefly. In Curse of Strahd, we had a player character, romance an NPC, and it was quite nice. I think it was done quite well. It wasn't grotesque. It wasn't awkward for players, I don't think, because again, it wasn't grotesque. It was all insinuated. Is it even something we want to avoid, or do we not mind if it happens?
I'm not going out of my way to start anything,
Sure.
but if something happens to like develop in the game, it'd be fine. But
Yeah.
100% nothing is happening between Dandelion and Harkness.
Okay. Yeah.
It's just
Nothing. Nothing.
Anyone who wanted to hear about that, just
Anyone who was
Nothing.
like, "Oh, I'm going into the top tier Patreon and I need this fanfic to happen on the game," it's like,
Mhm.
no.
ship that story somewhere else.
Okay. So
I don't know.
romance.
What does this Frostmaiden look like?
Well,
She's
She
Good.
alright?
you'll find. I think the only thing that I don't think Yannick has ever seen the Frostmaiden from
I'm joking,
from
I'm
anything
joking.
other from a far distance. But the light she drags across the skies, it is pretty stunning. It is quite a sight. I could imagine some people seeing that from a distance and fantasizing about like what she might look like up close. I could picture that. Yeah.
I mean, the fact is, I'm not even sure how I managed to court my wife, let alone how to do this in a game. So,
And honestly, I don't mind. It's very awkward. It can be awkward to like flirt with with a player's character. Somehow it went okay. It was okay when we did it, and it was kind of fun and kind of amusing, I think. And it was a little endearing at times, but I just don't want it to be forced. It has to. I feel if it happens, I'm okay. If it happens, it happens. But I'm also okay if you guys are all like, no. I don't think I would instigate much. I'm not going to be like, oh, I've got a perfect character set up for Tobias or anything like that. You know what I mean? Yeah, we'll just see where it goes.
If there was a romance to happen, my money would be on it being with an NPC.
Yeah.
It would be like in-team romance.
Yep.
I don't think so.
I think we should just straight up rule out in-team romance. Player-to-player romance, I think we should rule that out. That's just... it just doesn't sit right with me, I don't think. I don't know why. I think I've heard too many stories of it being awkward at players' tables. So I think I'd rather just say straight no to that. Because I don't think it would happen anyway, so let's just rule it out.
put it with PvP. Just
Yeah. To the chat, if there's many of you still listening to us talk about Session Zero, are there any expectations you guys have in the chat? Now, obviously, what we've done in the past is we've really we talk to you guys when we log in, we say hi, we welcome people in that have come along, and then we kind of stop talking for a chunk for about an hour, right? And then we come in, we have like a chat to you guys for 5 minutes sort of in the middle, and then we'll go for another chunk of not talking to you guys because we're kind of recording for the podcast. And it just saves hugely on editing if we just don't do that. But I'm pretty keen to understand how you would want, what your guys' expectations are from us as well, because we're not just 5 people sitting around a table in someone's living room eating snacks and playing D&D. We are streaming out live, we're putting it into podcast format, we're putting it out into YouTube format as well. If you guys are happy for this to be put into podcast and YouTube, by the way, I better set those expectations. If you guys don't want this in either of those formats, please let me know. But yeah, keen to hear what you guys want. It might not be anything. Our expectations of you, money. No.
Like and subscribe.
just join us. Having you guys watching, whether it's live or on YouTube. I check the stats on YouTube daily just because it's nice. I enjoy seeing what people are watching, how many hours are being watched every single day, and it legitimately gives me a really good feeling when I see that it's being enjoyed. So that's my only expectation is enjoy what we're doing, come and watch it in some way or format, listen to us, whatever. That's my expectation, but I am interested in yours. We've got about 20 minutes left. What else have we got?
Would it be funny if someone didn't want to be part of the podcast and you had to bleep them out for the whole campaign?
Yeah, well, see, this is like my little step in to see. Look, if you, I feel like everyone's already comfortable, but it's worth putting it out there because we would realistically have to not move forward with you as a player if that was the case. That would have to be the thing. So I just wanted to make sure everyone was okay with continuing being on YouTube, and because I know you are putting your face out there, you're putting your personality out there. So, yeah. But there's also a very good chance now that I include your character in the video game I'm making based on getting Dicey as well. So there's a very good chance of that if your characters are awesome. We find really good stories. I'm really trying to make sure I'm going the One Piece route. I want the characters that I put in the games to have like hyper tragic backstories. So the more tragic your backstory, the higher chance you have of having your character in the game.
Is this a segue? Speaking about where
maybe
we chat with the people, and then there's a bit where we don't, and then we do, and then we don't. Is this a segue into the format of the whole season?
Oh, great! Yeah, that is a good question. I think because this runs the risk of being as long as Curse of Strahd, it's a big campaign. Whether or not we want to take regular periods of downtime. So maybe we say we play for 2-3 months, and then we take a month off. And then we play for 2-3 months, take a month off. Or something along those lines, just to give you guys a bit of a breather, make sure that we maintain that excitement for the game. What do you guys want for that? Does that sound like something you'd want?
I think it's a good idea for organizing with real life, etc. And we could just maybe flex that based on how everyone's doing and health and work and holidays and practicalness.
I mean, the first version of that break will happen over the Christmas holidays. So that gives us like two months of play before we take maybe a month off anyway. So I think that aligns pretty nicely with what we usually do each year. And it's just whether or not we continue taking those kind of stops, whether we're worried that might drag it out too long by adding stops, or not. I'm flexible. I'm happy to hear what you guys think. But we will be taking a break over the Christmas period anyway. That'll be our first one.
I think there's just going to be logical times when the story beats have a gap, and yeah, so taking a break and everyone can kind of just process and then catch up on bits and pieces, and working as reset around lives and what have you. So not necessarily it has to be like X set time, but I think it'll just be beats.
So just keeping like the dialogue open, right, and just making sure we're all keen. If something comes up, if you guys have got like a week of holidays or a month of holidays coming up that you want to go overseas or whatever like that, you just let me know and we'll just make sure we align it with that. I just want to make sure. Which actually segues really well into when do we take a week off versus when do we just push through without someone. I think because we've got 4 players, I personally am okay to move forward if we're missing one person. If we're missing 2 people, not sure if that would be as worth it. But I'm also open if you guys are just like, well, let's just move forward. I think sometimes it will depend on what's happening story-wise.
Yeah. I was just going to say, I feel like as a rule of thumb, one person being out is fine. Two people out being out is, unless there's like some particular reason to continue.
Yeah.
Which I can't really think of right now. Like maybe they're separated for some reason.
Sure.
But
or if it's maybe if it's a quiet kind of moment in the story, that going through with two is maybe going to be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it might be dependent on story. But I think in general, if we're down one, we just keep moving forward and we will play the character as best as we can. We won't try and like spirit them off somewhere else. They will be there risking their lives or dealing out damage alongside everyone else. I think that's probably the best way to work it.
Yeah, I mean, for the two people, if it's just like the ramen episode or something, you still have to get away with.
Yeah.
But just personally, if I'm away, then I have no kind of hang-ups if the other three continue without me. So just putting that out there now.
Yeah, cool. Cool. I think there's one other thing I really wanted to talk about, which is secrets. Now, Rime of the Frostmaiden does this thing where there's like a section in the book called secrets, and you can give the players secrets that they can either keep quiet, they may want to keep them quiet throughout the entire campaign, or they may be willing to divulge that information early to try and help with this secret. So I've already dealt out two. I've given one to Moj, I've given one to Christian. Reese and John, you're happy for your characters to have a secret from the book?
Sure.
Yeah.
Can I have a good one?
No. Very bad. No, there's definitely like a decent little selection of them. I'm not going to try and pick one that is just shit for your character.
You have cholera.
yeah. There is. I'm trying to remember which one you went with, Christian. Did you go with the last one we talked about? Which we might. I think we did. Okay, I don't think I can talk about that one.
I feel like there was two, and yes, I feel like I did lean towards one, and that we discussed the one that I was leaning towards.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So yeah, there's some that are could be very bad for your character. And so you might be driven to do something, and that's kind of your driving force for your character on top of your own little backstory. And there's one which I'm not going to give anybody, but there's one called Littlest Yeti, which is you are actually the smallest Yeti. And basically you've come back. You still look like Tobias, but you are small.
You shave.
Basically, you've just like disguised yourself as a human, but you are actually just a young Yeti that was kicked out of the clan.
No.
Yeah, so there's some dumb ones, but then there's also some fun ones. So I'll
kind of want the Yeti one.
Yeah, are you just double bluffing that there's one that I'm not going to give out and then I've absolutely given it out?
At the end of it, we're all Yetis.
Each of you, yeah.
It's Yetis all the way.
Yeah.
This one plays like the normalist human.
I've just been told I'm a Harengon. I'm
exactly
a Yeti who's had a couple of like little deformed at birth, and they sent me out because I look too strange.
So here's the secret: is Littlest Yeti. I was raised by Yeti, although I relied on my ferocious guardians for food and warmth and never quite adapted to the cold. I speak Yeti and have advantage on charisma checks made to influence Yeti or improve their attitudes. So it's not so you were raised by them, so you kind of are a Yeti, but not really. And I'm just like, no, I don't like that. I think I've got a good one for John though. If he'd be, I think.
Yeah, secrets sound like fun.
Yeah, I think I've got a good one for John. That could go pretty well, especially since he's from 10 towns. I'll find one for you, Reese. I'll find one for you. I think we've got some good ones in there. Is there anything else that people wanted to discuss before we go live? 2 weeks away.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I've been excited to get to session 0, let alone game.
Yes.
I'm just going over the
list
just in case.
It's gone straight on my head, sorry.
I think we've covered that. Frequency. Oh, yeah, you go?
Costumes session 1, right? If
Are we all-
costumes.
if
then
costume?
costumes. Yeah.
Yeah. By all means, if you don't have it ready, then sweet. You can be session 2. But it'd be great if you've got them and you want to show it off. I reckon session 1 would be a great way to show it off. And I know some of you have got costumes, but there's no pressure. You don't have to. Especially we're going into summer where it might suck really badly to... What have we got there, Moj?
You're on mute, by the way.
Oh, that's cool. That's actually pretty cool.
Yes, some of us might have got a little too excited about the possibility of wearing a costume.
Yeah, I actually don't know much about the costumes you guys have, so I'm pretty excited to see them myself. I know Reese has been building one for a while, so I'm very keen. John, I don't know. There's no pressure. You don't have to. There's no pressures for green screens, backgrounds, voices, costumes, nothing. That's not what this is about. It's about just having fun. So whatever you find fun.
I want to see Reese's one now.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to see Reese's one because every flippin' game, Reese brings a game.
There you
Yeah.
go. Just the tip.
Ooh.
Just the
Oh,
tip.
it's a triangle.
Got him.
Yeah. Although, John, can we get you a big bushy ginger beard?
Yeah, maybe.
What if I knit
Maybe.
you one?
Oh, that sounds very warm.
Yeah. As we're heading into summer. Yeah. I think there was one last thing, which was frequency of magic items, which is something else I did want to quickly touch on because where is it? I think I've got like a little. I feel like I've got something. Oh, maybe it's not here. Basically, Dungeon Master's Guide for 2024. There's a tracking sheet. There's a magic item tracker, which I can fill out and keep. And it basically says between level 1 and 4, you guys, I don't know if this is it. This can't be individually. I think this is as a group. You guys between levels 1 and 4 might find 6 common, 4 uncommon, and 1 rare item. So it kind of gives you an idea for me to track away as you find things. So if you're about to reach level 5 and you don't quite have a lot of enough stuff, that's a good gauge for me to make sure I give more, or you find more things. So it's a good way. I've never really tracked this before. It's always just been whatever you found, you found. But this might give me a chance to be like, there's actually not enough stuff in this book as written. I can go find some fun shit, which would be quite cool.
I like the way you did it. I don't know if you changed the items that much in Curse of Strahd, but just thinking about the players and their character and like what would be cool for that character, I thought that was quite well done.
Yeah, I think there was like the one change I did to that was Barry, the sail zombie, basically like with the chime. So you could just call him with a chime and his little shack would appear and you'd go in and be like, hey, I want something cool. And he's like, well, what do you have to give me? And you trade something, a magical item you guys didn't want anymore, basically. And you just trade it and get one you did want. And he was like, there you go. That's how we retcon that item. So yeah, that was quite a fun little way to do it. So I'd be
This time it's
keen. Sorry?
Frosty the salesman.
That's not a bad idea. I was wondering about whether we wanted to have some sort of system in place like we've had previously after a certain amount of bits or donations or stuff like that, something would happen in game. And I still haven't landed on what that could be for Rime of the Frostmaiden without it getting in the way or slowing things down. In Lost Mine, it was spawning this goblin that kept getting bigger and stronger every time he was summoned from the crowd watching. But the problem is, like, people with money would have him show up 4 times in one session. And you're like, shit, this isn't quite working. And then in Curse of Strahd, we had Tabaxi show up with a magical wheel he could spin, and it was a random thing that it might land on, and it might be something good or bad, either in combat or out of combat. So it was kind of like a big list of things that it could land on. And that was controlled by viewers. Good timing. Drop Shadow just asked, what's the best way to donate a bit of spare cash now and again, as opposed to asking for someone with a volatile income to go up a tier? That is a great question. Something I'll think about, and I'll put. I think there's a way through Streamlabs to do donations, so I'll figure that out and make sure we have a link up for that as well. If you are going to spend your cash to subscribe in any way, I'd push you more towards Patreon than Twitch, purely because Patreon takes a little less of it when it comes to payday. Twitch takes a lot. So definitely, if you can, if you're going to support us, do it over in Patreon. If you don't get a choice, if you've got like Prime or whatever it is and you've got to do it here, that's fine as well. Just whatever works for everyone. But I think we can do donations through Streamlabs. I'm trying to remember if I even have... no, I'll set something up. I know we've got something. But thank you for even asking, Drop Shadow. Do you think, have we got everything?
I had a look through our list in the Discord, and it's pretty comprehensive. So nothing that I saw missed.
Okay, well, in that case, I would like to set a scene. It is freezing. It is 40 below. It is dark. It's not pitch black. It must be middle of the day, which is where you've kind of... Yannick has sort of given you an idea that this is the kind of the time of the day that would be daytime normally, but instead it's just dim light. Do any of you guys have dark vision? Yannick, you've got dark vision. So Yannick, you can see as one might normally see, but everyone else is seeing every like muted colors and can only see out to a certain bit of distance, but the wind is howling. You're all stood there, lined up, side by side. You have been looking for a while, and you've got your weathery winter clothes wrapped around tight. And despite that, you're still a little cold. It's the wind is like cutting straight through you, and snow is being pushed past. And standing just a few meters ahead, maybe 10 feet ahead of you, is a figure in that snow. The wind and the snow whipping past him. He's all but a silhouette, but he's not wearing winter gear. He's standing proudly out in the cold. And that is where we'll pick up on session 1 in 2 weeks' time. Very excited.
Without the captain.
Without the captain. Without the captain, unfortunately.
Unless that is the captain. He's back.
We'll find out. On the, was it the 22nd? I think it was 22nd.
Yep.
I will ask you guys a quick question. The only reason we weren't doing the 15th was because one of our players that was going to join us couldn't do the 15th. But they're not with us anymore. Are we wanting to do the 15th, or are we quite happy to 2 weeks' time, the 22nd, let's go?
I can do 15.
And I'll do tomorrow. 15th is fine. It was this figure.
John?
Yeah, go with the 15th.
Okay, shit. Well, okay, I've got work to do. All right, we will be live next Monday at the usual time, 8 p.m, with session 1 of Rime of the Frostmaiden, picking up where we've just left off. Drop Shadow says, I'm super excited to remember listening to Lost Minds Session 0 all those years ago. And it's awesome that you're still here with us, Drop Shadow. Especially, well, because you keep winning every time we have a giveaway. You do keep winning everything we've given away. So that's a good reason to stick by. Maybe we should look and see if we can find something to give away. Maybe that could be quite a fun little way to encourage people to stop by. The 15th, I've got work to do. I will get that work done, and we will be ready to go next Monday. Thanks to everybody who came and joined. Thanks you guys for setting up. Christian and John, I'm going to send you some settings in Chrome that will stop your microphone from being all over the place, because I think it's Chrome doing it. So I'll send you a link. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you guys next week.
Yay, bye.
Yay.
Bye, everybody.
Yeah.